Jashodanandana Jamuna Tira Bolo Charu Jamuna Tira Bolo Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha
अरे बाप कितना बजे खत्म होगा।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we would like to welcome all the participants for this weekly association of His Holiness Bhakti Swami Guru Maharaj. So every week we are hearing from Srila Guru Maharaj from 8 to 9, and we are continuing the seminar on pastimes of Lord Nrsimhadev. So we request all the devotees to please hear very attentively, and at the end there will be a short quiz, and you are requested to participate in the quiz immediately after the session. Hare Krishna.
So yesterday we discussed how Hiranyakashipu's glorious son, Prahlad Maharaj, the prince of the demons, the son of the king of demons, and not only a king of demons, but a very illustrious king of demons. So he was instructing his friends, his classmates, about Krishna Bhakti, about the importance of becoming a devotee of Krishna. And that is the ultimate goal of life. And children are very receptive because they're innocent. They easily take the instruction that are given to them, and they actually asked, like how this little boy learned so much. They asked, you had always been in the palace. You didn't go anywhere. So how did you learn all these very different teachings? This is not what our Guru is telling us. This is not what our Guru is teaching. It's a completely new topic, completely new subject. And then Prahlad told about how he learned all these that he was talking about when he was in his mother's womb. His mother was in the ashram of Narad Muni, and how Narad Muni instructed his mother, and that's how he learned everything. Now, the teacher all of a sudden found out, the two teachers, Sanda and Amarka, found out that all these boys are becoming devotees of Vishnu. And they felt that we will be in trouble when not only the son of Hiranyakashipu, but the whole school has become Krishna Bhaktas. So they would be in trouble. Therefore, the two sons of Shukracharya, Shanda and Amarka, when they observed that the students, the sons of the demons, were becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness because of the association of Prahlad, so they felt that they are in trouble. So they became very afraid. And they approached, and before they get into trouble, they went and reported to Hiranyakashipu, the king, that this is what has happened, this is what this boy is doing. Like, because of his association, all these sons of the demons have become devotees of Krishna, devotees of Vishnu. So then Hiranyakashipu called his son, okay, come here. So he asked, where did you learn all this? Where are you? Where did you learn all these things? How did you become a devotee? And where are you getting all this strength? And his answer was, wherever one gets his strength from, where you also got your strength. And the thing is that, please, my dear father, try to recognize the goal of human life is to become a devotee of Krishna. Maybe this chapter is very important. It's the 8th chapter, so I'll just read some of the verses. And so Hiranyakashipu was reported, and then Hiranyakashipu asked his son, Hey Durvinita. Durvinita means one who is disobedient, impudent. You most impudent, mandatmanaha, stupid fool, kula bhedakara, who are bringing about the destruction in the family, who is going to destroy the family. Kula bheda kara, who is going to destroy the family. Kula. He started to chastise Prahlad Maharaj with all kinds of abuses. Hiranyakashipu said, Oh, most impudent, most unintelligent disruptor of the family, you lowest of mankind, you have violated my power to rule you, and therefore you are an obstinate fool. Today I shall send you to the palace, I'll send you to the place of Jamaraj. So this is how he chastised. And he said, You rascal, my son, Prahlad, you rascal, you know that when I am angry, all the planets of the 3 worlds tremble along with their chief rulers. By whose power has a rascal like you have become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you? Where did you get this power? And Prahlad Maharaj's reply was, my dear king, he addressed him as Rajan. He's not addressing him as his father. My dear king, the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of yours. You consider yourself to be so powerful that you're saying that when you get angry, even the demigods start to tremble in fear. And you are not afraid of me. Where do you get the strength? So you are saying that you have become so powerful. Actually, you became powerful with the same, from the strength, by the strength that I also got the strength from. He is the source of all strength. So wherever you are getting the power from, that is him. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only your strength or mine, but the only strength for everyone. Without him, no one can get any strength, whether moving or not moving, superior or inferior. Everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the supreme controller and time factor, is the power of the senses, the power of the mind, the power of the body, and the vital force of the senses. His influence is unlimited. He is the best of all living entities, the controller of the three modes of material nature. By his own power, he creates this cosmic manifestation, maintains it, and annihilates also. So Prahlad Maharaj gave a big lecture actually. It's very nice. Prahlad Maharaj continued, my dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. What a courage he must have had, a little boy, telling his father, who is the king of the demons and the controller of the three worlds in the universe. So he is saying, please give up your demoniac mentality. Sometimes we also don't hesitate to tell a demon that please give up your demoniac mentality. But Prahlad Maharaj didn't care. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised towards everyone. Except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind, there is no enemy. The only enemy that one has is uncontrolled and misguided mind. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshipping the Lord perfectly. So unless and until one gives up this consideration of friend and enemy, and favorable, unfavorable, like he won't be able to become peaceful in mind. And unless one is peaceful in mind, one cannot become a devotee of Krishna. He won't be able to worship the Lord perfectly. In former times, there are many fools like you. In former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and is equipoised towards all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. Hiranyakashipu then replied, you rascal, you are trying to minimize my value as if you are better than me at controlling the senses? This is over-intelligent. I can therefore understand that you desire to die at my hands. For this kind of nonsensical talk is indulged in by those about to die. O most unfortunate Prahlad, you have always described a supreme being other than me, a supreme being who is above everything, who is the controller of everything and who is all-pervading. But where is he? If he is everywhere, then why is he not present before me in this pillar? Because you are speaking so much nonsense, I shall now sever your head from your body. Now let me see your most worshipable God come to protect you. I want to see it. Being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakashipu, who was very strong in bodily strength, thus chastised his exalted devotee son Prahlad with harsh words. Cursing him again and again, Hiranyakashipu took up his sword, got up from his royal throne, and with a great anger struck his fist against the column. Then from within the pillar came a fearful sound, which appeared to crack the coverings of the universe. Oh my dear Yudhishthir, Narad Maharaj is telling, oh my dear Yudhishthir, this sound reached even the abode of the demigods like Lord Brahma. And when the demigods heard it, they thought, oh, now our planets are being destroyed. While showing this extraordinary prowess, Hiranyakashipu, who desired to kill his own son, heard that wonderful tumultuous sound, which had never before been heard. Upon hearing the sound, the other leaders of the demons were afraid. None of them could find the origin of the sound in the assembly. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. While Hiranyakashipu looked all around to find the source of the sound, that wonderful form of the Lord, which could not be ascertained to be either a man or a lion, emerged from the pillar. In amazement, Hiranyakashipu wondered, what is this creature that a half lion and half lion, the half man and half lion? Hiranyakashipu studied the form of the Lord, trying to decide who the form of Nrsimha standing before him was. He was wondering who this is. He never heard of someone like him. The Lord's form was extremely fearsome because of his angry eyes, which resembled molten gold, his shining mane, which expanded the dimension of his fearful face, his deadly teeth, and his razor-sharp tongue, which moved about like a dueling sword. His eyes were erect and motionless. His ears were erect and motionless, and his nostrils and gaping mouth appeared like a cave of a mountain. His jaws parted fearfully, and his entire body touched the sky. His neck was very short and thick, his chest broad, his waist thin, and the hairs of his body as white as the rays of the moon. His arms, which resembled flanks of soldiers, spread in all directions as he killed the demons, rogues and atheists with his conch shell, disc, club, lotus, and other natural weapons. Hiranyakashipu murmured to himself. Hiranyakashipu then murmured to himself, Lord Vishnu, who possesses great mystic power, has made this plan to kill me. But what is the use of such an attempt? Who can fight with me? Thinking like this and taking up his club, Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord like an elephant. Just as a small insect falls forcefully into a fire, and the insignificant creature becomes invisible. When Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord, who was full of effulgence, Hiranyakashipu became invisible. This is not at all astonishing, for the Lord is always situated in pure goodness. Formerly, during creation, he entered the dark universe and illuminated it by his spiritual effulgence. Thereafter, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, who was extremely angry, swiftly attacked Nrsimhadev with his club and began to beat him. Lord Nrsimhadev, however, captured the great demon along with his club, just as Garuda might capture a great snake. So in this way, when Lord Nrsimhadev gave Hiranyakashipu a chance to slip from his hand, just as Garuda sometimes plays with a snake and lets it slip from his mouth, the demigods who had lost their abode and who were hiding behind the clouds for fear of the demon did not consider that incident very good. Indeed, they were perturbed. Actually, while Hiranyakashipu came to attack him, the Lord caught him, just as Garuda would catch a great snake. But then the Lord also let him slip out of his grip. Just he was playing with him. But the demigods became worried. When Hiranyakashipu was freed from the hands of Nrsimhadev, he falsely thought that the Lord was afraid of his prowess. Therefore, after taking a little rest from the fight, he took up his sword and shield and again attacked the Lord with great force. Making a loud shrill sound of laughter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, who is extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakashipu, who was protecting himself with his sword and shield, leaving no gap open. So they fight in such a way that they don't leave any gap open for an enemy to strike. That is the way they fight, with shield and sword. So that's what he's saying here. Hiranyakashipu was fighting with his sword and shield, protecting with his sword and shield, leaving no gaps open. With the speed of a hawk, Hiranyakashipu moved sometimes in the sky and sometimes on the earth, his eyes closed because of fear of Nrsimhadev's laughter. As a snake captures a mouse, or Garuda captures a very venomous snake, Lord Nrsimhadev captured Hiranyakashipu, who could not be pierced even by the thunderbolt of King Indra. As Hiranyakashipu moved his limbs here and there and all around, very much afflicted by being captured, Lord Nrsimhadev placed the demon on his lap, supporting him with his thighs, and in the doorway of the assembly hall. The Lord very easily tore the demon to pieces with the nails of his hand. Lord Nrsimhadev's mouth and mane were sprinkled with drops of blood, and his fierce eyes, full of anger, were impossible to look at. Licking the edge of his mouth with his tongue, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nrsimhadev, decorated with a garland of intestines taken from Hiranyakashipu's abdomen, resembled a lion that has just killed an elephant. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had many, many arms, first uprooted Hiranyakashipu's heart and then threw him aside and turned towards the demon soldiers. Those soldiers had come in thousands to fight with him with raised weapons and were very faithful followers of Hiranyakashipu. But Lord Nrsimhadev killed all of them merely with the end of his nails. So in this way, the Lord killed Nrsimhadev. Lord Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu. So, so Nrsimhadev, as we have discussed earlier, Hiranyakashipu became impossible practically to die. He wouldn't be killed by any weapon, he wouldn't be killed by any man or a demigod or an animal or demon or Rakshasa. He covered everything. He won't be killed in the sky or on the land. He won't be killed inside the house or outside the house. He won't be killed during the day or night. Practically impossible to kill him. But who can protect himself when the Lord wants to kill him? So the Lord took care of all the possible means. He took care of all the possible means that Hiranyakashipu was trying to make himself immortal. And as if he, transcending all those means, he just came and killed him. So this is how wonderful Lord Nrsimhadev is. And that's why it's very important that we take shelter of him. Anyway, so I also mentioned that I would mention why in ISKCON we worship Lord Nrsimhadev in such a way. There are various reasons. One of the main reasons is that Lord Nrsimhadev removes all the obstacles from the path of devotion. Just as Ganesh removes all the obstacles from the path of success in the material world. Jat pada pallava jugam binidhaya kumbha dande pranama samaye sa ganadhiraja. Ganadhiraja means Ganesh. Gana adhiraja. Gana Isha. Ganapati. So these are the names of Ganesh. The Lord of living entities. And Bignan bihantum alamassa jagatrayasya. He actually removes the bigna. Bigna means impediments, obstacles of these three worlds. Like success can come if we can overcome the obstacles. Like everybody wants to be successful, but they cannot be successful. Say somebody may want to be very wealthy, but in order to have wealth, he has to be successful in making money. So that's Ganesh, those who want to be successful in the material world, Ganesh actually removes the obstacles from their path. So he removes the obstacles. And that is, if there is no obstacles, then everybody will be successful. So that's why materialistic people, they worship Ganesh, especially the business people. Because they want to be successful in their business. So therefore, they worship Ganesh. Bignan bihantum alamasya jagatrayasya. So Ganesh does that in the material world But he does it. How does he do it? Chatpada pallava jugam vinidhaya kumbha. In his stimuli of the head of an elephant, Ganesh is holding the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's how he has the ability. Now, who is the Lord whose feet he is holding on? On his feet? Nrsimhadev. That's why Ganesh also has a similar kind of a form. Half man, half animal. Nrsimhadev has half man's half body of a man, head of a lion. Ganesha has the body of a man and the head of an elephant. Jat pada pallava jugam vinidhaya kumbha. And Ganesha has received this ability by the mercy of Lord Nrsimhadev. Ganesha is a devotee of Lord Nrsimhadev. So that's why we worship in ISKCON, because he removes all the impediments on the path of success, on a path of spiritual success. Bhakti Bigna Vinashan Nrsimhadev. Nrsimhadev is Bhakti Bigna Vinashan. We can see that Bignan Bihantum Alamasya Jayatragasa. Jagatrayasya. Ganesh is removing the impediments or Bignan from this world, and Nrsimhadev is removing the impediments on the path of devotion. Therefore, we pray to Lord Nrsimhadev. That's one reason. Another reason is today's world has become very demoniac. And we are always running the risk of being attacked by the demons. Demons cannot tolerate Krishna Bhakti, Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we worship Nrsimhadev. Lord Nrsimhadev is very, very merciful. We saw the way he went out of his way to protect Prahlad Maharaj. Therefore, we take shelter of Nrsimhadev so that he also protects us in this very, very dangerous material world. So, these are and besides that, it is by worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev, we become successful in our endeavor. Brahma is telling, Shrashtaham Jagatang Vatsa. He's telling Narad, I am the creator of this world. Shrashtaham Jagatang Vatsa. Lakshmi Jagat Pati. And Lakshmi maintains this world. And Sangharta cha Maheshwara. So, Shashtaham Jagatang Vatsya, Lakshmi Jagatrayan Pati, Sangharta cha Maheshwara. So, it is by receiving Lord Nrsimhadev's mercy. Lord Nrsimhadev not only gives us protection, he also allows us to serve the Lord in various ways. So these are the reasons why we in ISKCON are very fond of Lord Nrsimhadev. Although his form is so fearsome. And that reminds me of certain results that we got. In Germany, our movement was facing a great difficulty. It was facing a great difficulty from the government and other, because of course we also made mistakes, but the government got on our case. And they were about to kill us. I mean, they were about to finish the movement. But then the deity of Lord Nrsimhadev was established. And from then onwards, no problem. We can see that nothing happened after that. Although before that, the government was trying to shut the movement down. They took away our properties, took away all our money and everything. We lost everything. But after Nrsimhadev's deity was established, everything became all right. And it's actually with that understanding that we established Nrsimhadev's deity here in Ujjain. We are facing so many difficulties from the government at one time. Government and people, the legal suit and all that. But since we established Lord Nrsimhadev, things became quite peaceful. There are some other incidents also. Like once in Germany, our devotees were preaching at one night. And they were in a very crowded area. It was actually a notorious area. Hamburg is a port. So many ships come. So that place is famous for the red light area. Red light area means the area where there are all prostitutes and nightclubs and bars, all these places. So they used to go there to chant and preach. So one day they were chanting, one night actually. One night they were chanting on the street over there. And they saw one big man, like a giant. He was just coming as if they could see that he was just coming to hit them. So devotees just started to chant, Namaste Nrsimhadeva. And something happened, that person's body just went up and fell flat on the ground. And the paramedics came and they said he had a massive heart attack. So, they just started to chant Namaste Nrsimhadeva, and this guy was finished. I heard another incident. One girl was distributing books, and during the daytime in the West, you don't see many people. And she saw that one man was coming towards her, and she suspected that man was going to attack her. And she just started to chant the prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev, started to pray to Lord Nrsimhadev. And something happened to the man. He stopped, turned around and went away. So there's so many such instances of Lord Nrsimhadev's mercy upon the devotees. So, all glories to Nrsimha Bhagavan ki jai. So next question, the first question. Premavatar Das, Ujjain. Guru Maharaj, I was searching for Nrsimha Kavach to recite. There are many different types of Nrsimha Kavacha prayers. What is the difference between them, and if I want to recite, which one I should learn, and how it's useful for progressing in devotional services? Please guide. Very good question. Premavatar, yes, that's true. There are mainly two actually. One is the prayers by Prahlad Maharaj. And now, I actually came across Nrsimha Kavacha long time ago. And that was from the Gauriya Math songbook. So based on Gauriya Math songbook, we printed our songbook in Bengali. So this Nrsimha Kavacha that we have in our Bengali songbook is the prayer by Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is reciting Nrsimha Kavach on Narad Muni's request. So because those days I was not really aware of Prahlad Maharaj's, or rather those days, that's the Nrsimha Kavach I found, and that's why I started to chant that one. So I generally chant that Nrsimha Kavach, that is Brahma Vacha, Brahma said. So that is, and anyway, it's the same. Kavacham is the protector. The mantra is actually the same. The mantra is, Nrsimha mantra is Om Ugrang Virang Mahavishnu Jalantang Sarvato Mukham Nrsimhang Bhishanang Bhadrang Mrittum Mrittum Namamaham. And the Vij of this mantra is chrome. So, anyway, like whichever you want to chant, you can. But we have generally two Nrsimha Kavach. And in ISKCON, the Prahlad Maharaj's one became more popular because they started to promote that one. I think Jayapadaka Maharaj's disciples started to promote that. And they followed that they got it from South India. So that is also Prahlad Maharaj's prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev. So next question is Anandamai Chaitanya Das, Kolkata. Is that we hear how Prahlad Maharaj kept instructing his father about surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he didn't listen. Similarly, we tend to listen to lectures from Prabhupada and senior Vaishnavas, but fail to register anything in application due to mental blockades. Kindly advise on how to put what we listen to in proper practice always. Again, read Prabhupada's books. It's a matter of meditating, Like it's a matter of, we hear, but if we don't understand, it will be difficult to retain it. When you know something, already it becomes easy to understand. Isn't it? If you know it, it's easy to understand. But if you don't know, meaning if the spiritual subject is not really where you are dwelling, if you are dwelling in the material nature, material platform, materialistic platform, then it will be difficult because the topic is very different. So the way to understand is meditate on the spiritual platform. Even when you are seeing material things, even if you are seeing material things, but try to see it in the light of Krishna consciousness. So that is the thing. There's a difference between a materialist and a spiritualist. Okay, I'll say a materialist, Jnani or yogi, and a devotee. Materialists are absorbed in material world. Jnanis and yogis, they want to run away from material world. Whereas the devotees turn the material world into spiritual. They don't run away, devotees don't run away from the material world. We are not running away. We are very much into it. People are running away, not going out of the house, but we are distributing prasad. We are not running away. And especially in America, where it's not so strict. In India, it's become very strict. But in America, our devotees are distributing prasad. And to whom? They are called the first responders. When there is emergency, when there is crisis, who respond first? Police, fire brigade, ambulance. So they're called in America, they're called the first responders. And also there are healthcare. That means doctors, nurses, and we started to distribute prasad to them. Initially, we were worried whether they would take our prasad. And we thought that, okay, give it to them in such a way that they will like it. So, what we started to distribute there to them? Pizza. Because the Americans love pizzas. Pizzas and cupcakes. And we first started to distribute, just went out, they went out actually, to devotees. Two devotees, Sham Murari and Jagannath Charan. And they went with 10 pizzas. They first went to the fire brigade. They took 3. Then they went to the police station. They took all. The next day, they again took 15 pizzas, and the police department wanted to have 10 because there were 10 people. And then the 5, they gave it to the fire department. And then they started to go to the hospitals. And you know how many plates of prasad we are distributing every day? About 250. So, you know, like, because they're responding, and not only they're responding so nicely, they're appreciating. There's a TV channel called Channel 6. There, they have put it in their news, what we are doing, and they gave about 5 minutes of coverage. And then the police department is writing a letter of appreciation. Sheriff is writing letter of appreciation. The head of the fire department is writing letters of appreciation. So we just look at the opportunity. If we didn't go out, then there wouldn't have been any possibility of. And through this, we are getting so much appreciation. And now we are telling them, even if the lockdown goes, we'll continue to serve. We'll continue to distribute prasad. And next thing, along with prasad, we'll give them books of Srila Prabhupada. And like, even this channel, that became so favorable to us. Just one meeting. One time they came and they saw what we are doing. They became so happy. They told us, this Channel 6 is quite popular in America. They told us that anytime you need anything to be covered, any coverage you need, you let us know. So they are just telling us that, they are just going to broadcast our activities. So that's the point, you see, like as I was saying, like turning the material world into spiritual. Turning this material world into spiritual. So we are not saying no, no, no. We are saying yes, yes, yes. Right? The materialist people say yes, yes, yes to their enjoyment. Gyanis and yogis say no, no, no. And devotees said yes, yes, yes for the sake of Krishna's glory, for the sake of making everybody into devotees. So that is the difference. Remember, I gave an example. A bag of money was lying on the street. One person came and took the whole bag and went away. Another person came, he said, no, no, this is not mine. They walked away, let the bag lie there. Another person came, opened the bag, oh, so much money. Shh. Let me see, he looked around, oh, there's a card giving the address of the person who owns this money. So he goes and gives it back. The first one is a thief, karmi. Second one is Jnani and Yogi. And third one, guess who? Devotee. Everything belongs to Krishna, so let us use everything in Krishna's service. Yes, in material nature there are so many arrangements. But we must see all of that as Krishna's property. So, okay, next question is Sundar Damodar Das, Bangalore. Guru Maharaj, is there any description about Kayadhu? Did she also become devotee? And what was her reaction on Hiranyakashipu willing to harm Prahlad Maharaj? There's not much description that we found in Srimad Bhagavatam. You see, our main source is Srimad Bhagavatam. But I'm sure other Puranas also have informations. But I haven't come across. Only thing that I came across is, although Prahlad remembered everything, that Narad Muni told, Kayadhu forgot everything. She didn't remember anything. Of course, I'm sure she had the affection for a child, but she had what to do. Her husband was so antagonistic to Prahlad. Then Shamsundar Krishna from Melbourne. Thank you for the wonderful Katha. You stated Nrsimha removes impediments in the path of bhakti. Doesn't Krishna remove the impediments? Krishna can do everything. Then why in Germany we had to go get Nrsimhadev? I thought Krishna is limitless and very merciful. Then why does he keep quiet when impediment in the path of bhakti comes and we have to go to Nrsimha? Is it okay to stick with one form of Lord, else it's difficult to focus for me? Okay, Shamsundar Krishna, very good question. But the problem is, Krishna is so absorbed enjoying with his devotees in Vrindavan, he doesn't have the time to look at us here. So that's why he came as Nrsimhadev. The thing is that, you can maintain your attachment to Krishna. That is what our main worshipable Lord is. But while you are progressing on the path of Krishna consciousness, shelter to Nrsimhadev is helpful. And mind you, Nrsimhadev is not going to take you away from Krishna. After all, there is no difference between Krishna and Nrsimhadev. It's Krishna himself. But you see, when he is so busy dancing with the gopis in Vrindavan, he said, Nrsimhadev, you take care of those devotees. So that is how we have to look at it. We are not in a position to enter into Krishna's Vrindavan Leela now. We are here practicing devotional service, and while practicing there are many impediments. So we pray to Nrsimhadev and Nrsimhadev takes care. Next question is from Tanvi Radha Dasi. Guru Maharaj, Tanvi Radha Dasi from Sydney. Mind you, it's midnight there. So still they're so eager to hear that they are staying up. Shamsundar Krishna and his family, Tanvi Radhika and her family. Guru Maharaj, Tanvi Radha is asking, Srila Prabhupada's main mission is to preach and spread this philosophy everywhere. If someone is introvert and shying away from preaching, but instead completely devoted to other activities like deity worship, cooking prasadam, reading, then how much endeavor one should take to come out of the comfort zone and start actual preaching? Well, in Krishna consciousness, everybody has a role to play. Everybody can have the opportunity to use his propensity. Like an example can be given. A war is going on between two countries. Now, not that everyone is going to be in the forefront with guns in hand fighting the enemies. Some people are not really apt or able or competent enough to fight in the front line. But from behind, they're helping. And that's why the frontline warriors, the soldiers, are able to fight. They're cooks, they're cooking. Doctors and nurses, they're treating. Everybody has a role to play. If there was no cook, then how these soldiers would fight in the front line? If there was no doctors and nurses, then who will take care of the injured soldiers? So in this way we can see the whole population can become involved. Just as the whole population can be involved in a battle, similarly, the whole population can become engaged in Krishna's service. One shouldn't think, oh, because it's a preaching movement, therefore I must go and preach. When you're cooking, you're preaching. Because by supporting the preachers, you're preaching. When you are sweeping the temple, you're preaching. Because when people come and see beautifully clean temple, they become favorable to Krishna consciousness. They're preaching. When they taste the food prasad, when they appreciate the prasad, they're developing appreciation for Krishna consciousness. So therefore, Tanvi Radha, you can help the preaching mission, and by doing that, you are serving Krishna. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone. I would like to request all the devotees, they can solve the quiz that is posted in chat box. It will take just a few minutes. You can quickly solve it. Meanwhile, I will read today's quote by Shri Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj is saying, it's 27th May. No matter whatever happens, we should never fight ourselves. Even if there is some disagreement or misunderstanding, we should try to patch it up and overcome it by Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 12th chapter, 40th verse, Belgium, 27th May, 1987. Zalil Bhakti Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, devotees can solve the quiz. It will take just 5 minutes. You can show the results.
Adharam madhuram, vadanam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं बलितं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् रेणुर्मधुरः पानिर्मधुरः पादो मधुरौ हृतं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं दुग्धं मधुरं सूतं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं रमणं मधुरं स्वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं
Okay, thank you everyone. Active participation in quiz. We'll just see the result. Okay. How many participated till now? It's not there. Okay, so till now, first is Chakuri Radha Mataji, then Murari Charan Pro, then Sundar Nitai Pro third, Jaish Das, Manjari's father, I think, and then Mukund Priya Prabhu, and Satwik Saraf, Rangini Maji, I think, and then Krishna Bhushan Prabhu, Shubham Kumar, I think it's Shyam Keshav, and then Shrudevi Mataji, then SSD, I think Sundar Damodar Das, then Rajiv Shukla, Gaurav, then Surangi Mataji, Radhika Mataji. Okay. Sankarshanita. Okay, so how many participated, Pro? Can we see? Okay, 46 devotees participate. So still 80 devotees are here. I will share the link again so that you can participate. Okay, so thank you very much everyone for your association. Every week you are coming together, we are coming together and hearing from Shri Guru Maharaj. So this quiz link and today's lecture will be posted in all the Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj group. So all of you can participate later also. Thank you very much for joining. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada.